Hey, what's up everyone? Sam in the studio and trying to deliver on my promises here. So I want to take you guys through a little series and I'm just gonna jump right in, kind of making a track from scratch, kind of my process a little bit, start to finish. Today, I'm gonna try to tackle a boom-bastic, stompy, clappy, swagger track that might go well for sync. This is a lot of music that I've seen requests for. I don't think it's going away. I just watched a movie with my wife the other night and was listening to the music in the background. I'm like, man, they're still using it. That kind of big, stompy, swagger stuff. So you're starting off from scratch. How do you begin on something like this? It happens different ways for me. This one, I just had a request on Facebook. Someone said, how do you get a big clap sound? So I'm killing two birds with one stone here. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of like what I'm using. Sometimes though, I have started these type of tracks with two microphones, one here and one on the ground, and I actually use my own claps and foot stomps, and I start to layer those. And I like that because in the headphones I can put a click track going, and then I can just feel like boom, ka, ka, boom, ka, or however, whatever pattern starts to come out. This one is super simple. I started with a couple, just one loop from I Want That Sound, and it's to 85 beats per minute, and I dragged, it was actually an 80 and I squished it to be 85, and then I just started layering stomps and claps over that. So let me play for a second here what I have so far. So that's it. I have like a real basic loop, and you can see on there the one click, clack, kind of sounds like sticks on rim shots pattern. And then you can also see my layers. So that's the first thing I wanted to cover was, if you look here, I have layers. I have my stomps, and I think I just have two of them here. And then I have about 4 layers of claps that I've stacked on top of each other. Now in this pack, it's called Boots and Claps from I Want That Sound. They have typically 4 of each one, which makes it really nice. So I have put A, B, C, and D like on the timeline, and then I just put A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and D. Also, you see here that they're all bussed to one track. That way I can compress and kind of control all of that as like one group. Okay, so next, I've got my boom, stompy, clappy thing going. Here's where we're gonna use a Korg Prologue. This is affordable analog synth, and I can't say enough about just pumping an analog synth. There's something about it that gives you a big, deep, rich sound. Now, if you only have virtual instruments, use what you got. I'm all about use what you got, but for this one I felt so inspired to come up with a gritty analog synth sound. So here's what I have. So I'm playing really simple pattern. I'm not a crazy fancy piano player, so I stuck with something really simple, and I'm just gonna put those two things together. Okay, so I put down something so simple, just like a little pattern. That might be something that's kind of like a little bit of a hook on there. I also probably am gonna go next and just lay something so simple, maybe even just that root note. And I'm also gonna keep it very open because there's gonna be some vocals in there. I'm gonna allow my co-writer, Mark, to hear the track. I think I hear some O's in the beginning that's also still very popular and trending with sync music, so it might have some big layered O's in the front, and I can do another video kind of showing how I might treat those. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a bass guitar. Something that is an advantage here is that I am a guitar player as my primary instrument, so it's going to be easy for me to go in there and add a little bit more layered organic sound. So the first thing I'm going to do on the trusty old bass here is I'm going to just figure out that part I just played on the synth, and I'm going to double that on the bass. Which brings me to a major point of this video that I want to show is a lot of this music, to get it epic and big and something that just, it's got energy and is going to go so well with sync, is layers. Layers is your friend. Whether it's voices, whether it's instruments, whether it's hand claps, you can see on my track here that everything's going to be layered. By the time I'm done, I'm going to have 4 layers of claps. That initial synth part, I might layer with a virtual instrument synth and a bass and maybe some guitar. And speaking of guitar, if I go in here and lay down a guitar part, I'm going to be going through the Kemper. I will probably play every part twice, and I pan one to the left and one to the right. So what I'm trying to do is just build it up. You want it to be tight when I go to that final stage of editing. If I played that synth part and I kind of play it on bass, I will zoom in and meticulously go through and make sure that if I'm doing that all those things are lining up. So again, it's sometimes so simple. You don't need to overthink it, or you're just gonna go in and get inspired and listen to your references. I have a reference for some of this music that I like to go to that's been used in commercials and movies and TV shows. And even as I get this track going, I might even bring that reference track into Pro Tools and listen to how much energy and how much stacks and how I'm balancing everything in. So I can't say enough to encourage young producers and people getting into maybe desire or want to make a song like this. Use your reference tracks, listen to your reference tracks, and A-B. Use your reference track as A and your song as B, and go back and forth to see if you can't pick stuff out and hear stuff. So I'm going to get this track going. I'm going to play some bass right now and stuff, and then once I'm done, I'm going to send it to my co-writer Mark, who will probably be the voice over it. We have a project together called The Mad Professional that's kind of this edgy type of music, and I feel like this would fit. And we work really quick, and I know if I make a cool track here with a couple different parts, I got that, what I just played is maybe the intro part, and then it might break down to something very simple for him to, kind of give a swagger, thematic verse to it, and then it's going to go into the big drop, and I can make future videos on how that's all going to sound and look. So that's it for today. Just wanted to show you kind of like how I might start off a track. Hope you got something out of it. If you have questions how I'm doing this or what I'm using or how I'm putting this together, drop the question down below and I'll try to respond and answer to those, and it'll help me with future videos. So Sam Knaak, Ear Witness Studios, thanks for watching.